In America now, there is a slogan that is being promoted, which is, be what you are. In Islam and in God's religions too, the slogan is not, be what you are, but be what you should be. And to do that, you have to be strong, not strong in muscle, but strong in will and in spirit, and all the evidence in the world, in America and elsewhere, shows the complications of people who would rather be what they are than be what they should be. In Ramadan, the Quran started to be revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And on that night, which is called the Night of Power, he received the first revelation. And for the first time, he found himself a prophet of God, the seal of the prophets, the same chain that included Abraham and Moses and Jesus came to be completed by Muhammad, as Muslims believe. And you know what the first word of the Quran was? It was read. Read in the name of your Lord, who created man from a sticky material. Read. And your Lord is the most gracious, who taught man with the pen, taught man what man knew not. And so the first order in the Quran was seek knowledge. It is an experience that Europe didn't share. The situation was different in Europe. And science moved on when they were able to check the interference of religion. But here is a religion whose first word is read. The Quran is a book the size of the New Testament. It wasn't revealed in one lot. It was revealed in bits and pieces, addressing various situations over the span of 23 years. Many people commit the mistake of quoting the Quran without reading the whole Quran, because you will find, as if you are walking in the street and drifting too much to the right, a voice will tell you, go left a little bit. After some time, you drift too much to the left, and the voice will tell you, go right a little bit. And unless you know the circumstances, your only conclusion is that the Quran is inconsistent and opposes itself. Once it says go left, and once it says go right. This mistake is being committed en masse by Muslims and non-Muslims alike. But I would like to tell you, beware of just picking up a verse here and there in the Quran and building the whole image upon it. We read in the Quran also, say, God addressing Muhammad, say, walk about on the earth and find out how God started the creation. What can be more science than this? It is science. Discover. How did we begin? And when? And where to? And why? So it is a book that orders prayer and fasting, but also orders the pursuit of science. And this is a religious dictate in Islam. And there is a verse that says, amongst his worshippers, it is only the knowledgeable who heed him most. Every year I address you, and every year as I read the Quran, a special verse seems to be shining out through it. And I make this verse the axis of my Ramadan talks in the corresponding year. And the verse in the Quran that caught my attention this year is when God addresses the Prophet and tells him, the Arab Bedouins will come and tell you, we have attained to faith. Tell them no. Say, we have adopted the religion of Islam, but faith is yet to enter into your hearts. This distinction between Islam and faith, of course, it is mandatory for us to be both. But we see many people, these days in particular, who imprison themselves in the outward expressions of Islam, and yet forget the inward, the faith, the thing in the heart. And therefore, we look at the Islamic world, we see people killing one another, Muslim killing Muslim, and the beard is grown, and the turban is on the head, and everybody is observing the prayer and the fasting. But this is empty religion, because it is religion without faith. It is the outward picture of religion. But we ought to remember that a building depends on the foundation. Before you start going up high on the earth, you should have prepared the strong foundation that can carry your building. The mistake is, of course, rampant in the Muslim world, as you see now. Shia and Sunni, Kurdish and Arab, etc., etc., etc. But faith, it doesn't exist, because faith resides in the heart. And the heart is the place where God resides in. If you are really faithful to God, and if you have faith. And God is love. And you cannot have in your heart love or God and have hatred at the same time.